First shout out video.
Yeah. First shout out goes to Jada Tibbs.
She's cool.
Yeah.
Black.
The homegirl right there.
Second shout out to Leanne Avila. She's fucking cool. Pothead.
Shout out to Ayo Sina.
I think start from the top.
Shout out to Yessi Car
De la Claridad.
de la Clarida. Yeah.
Shout out to Alyssa Macias. Shout out to Young Gorgeous Goon.
Shout out to Filio Durantes Bernal.
Shout out to Erica Browning. Shout out to Coco motherfucking Puffs.
Shout out to Sabrina Renee.
Shout out to Karina Marie. Shout out to Pancita Pancho. Shout out to Jocelyn Garcia.
Shout out to Barbie Honor.
Shout out to Karina Gonzalez.
Shout out to Shelby Johnson.
Shout out to Jada. Oh fuck man. Juana Morantes. Shout out to
Alejandro Rio.
Shout out to Melissa Gonzalez. Shout out to Sara Puente. Shout out to my cousin Andrea Martinez.
Shout out to Landra Villa.
Shout out for
And shout out for Arturo Navarro, the homie right there.
Shout out for
Kaylee Gore.
Shout out to Jennifer Manzano.
Shout out to Anna G. Angie. My bad.
Shout out to Christy Flores.
Shout out to Hokunani Horimoto Hernandez. Yeah, that's right, like a boss.
Shout out to Jackie Rodriguez.
Shout out to Crystal Mania.
Shout out to Serena Medina Christensen.
Shout out to Monica Marin.
Shout out to Gladys Pete.
Shout out to Sarah Flores.
Shout out to Jocelyn Denise.
Oh, there's another Jocelyn Denise. Shout out to you too. We're not gonna forget you. Shout out to Jackie Serna with 2 A's.
Shout out to Paola Mendoza.
Shout out to Yesenia Janet.
Shout out to I'm not gonna say that shit.
Janet Dia Ruiz.
Shout out to
Lindsay Joy Rincon.
I don't know.
Kanani May.
Shout out to Angela Acosta.
Princess. Shout out to Princess Galindo.
Oh, especially Natalie.
Shout out to Natalie Easterly.
Shout
out to Andrea Cortez
and Katia Cortez. Pero
related. I don't know, maybe.
Oh, special shout out to
shout out to Neria Padilla
Nareda
Padilla Castillo
and Oscar.
Shout out Oscar.
Shout out to
Shout out to Pashi.
Shout out to
Chavez. Shout out to Christine Ramirez and Yazzie Sanchez. Shout out.
Lizzie EBK.
I gotta think. Shout out to Iridian Dora Castro.
Shout out to Gabby Garcia.
Shout out to Nina Maria.
Shout out to Samantha Rodriguez.
Shout out to Pinky G.
And that's the last one too. Maritza.
Shout out to Maritza Guerrera.
That's about it. Oh, and shout outs to all the homies: Andres, Shaggy, John, Christian Jimenez, and yeah, and Francisco Lopez.
Yeah. Shout out to Selena.
Too fat. Even though she didn't like
Too
the,
fat.
even though she didn't like the.
Even though she didn't like it, 'cause she's too cool.
And Haley Rose Avila.
Oh yeah, and one more, we're not gonna forget you. Haley Rose Avila.
Yeah. That's about it. Oh, Luis Lopez.
Shout out to Luis Lopez.
He gets my snapback.
Hit him up. He has fresh snapbacks, $20,
Brand new.
brand new.
That's about it.
That's about it, guys. Alright, thanks
Well,
for watching.
Thanks. Little crappy, but
Little crappy our first shout out video.
first.
Alright.
Yeah.